including the warning that 2027 might be a bloodshed if and when we as IEBC mess around with the people's votes. I think, Honorable Chair, this is a very uncomfortable discussion, but also very necessary. Because those of us who have been in this country long enough, we know what we have gone through from 1992. At least that one I can recall. I'm sure most of you were there, maybe 1988, and participated in these processes. We've had a pattern where every election has had some incidences of violence. And of course, in 2007, we completely lapsed into a crisis of such big proportion and magnitude that a repeat of such scenario would not be something that we would wish for this country. So as IEBC, we will work very hard with other stakeholders, including the security agencies. We would work with the National Cohesion and Integration Commission. We will work with partners in civil society, the media, to ensure that as we move towards this 2027, that we will put in place measures to prevent electoral-related violence. And Honorable Chair, during my tenure and my work at UNDP, most of the work that I did was around the recovery from the 2007 post-election and working with national government institutions, including the IEBC, for programs that ensured that we had the 2010 referendum that went peaceful, the 2012-2013 campaigns and subsequent elections went successfully. And there are those specific measures that we put in place that, given this opportunity, I'll be able to bring to the IEBC and to the nation so that then we work on electoral violence prevention. We can have a robust program on that.
Just before you go on, Honorable Karemba, you had some rider to put to that very fast?
Yeah, I am not satisfied by how you have settled the question that I asked, because I feel that he is now answering. You know, I had
He has not come to you as yet.
Oh, okay.
This is still.
Those are the three from me.
Okay.
Apart from, you've talked about putting into place systems to prevent post-election violence. Will you also put in place systems to prevent election malpractices? Because we start with the malpractices first, then we go to the violence, so that we actually ensure that we have a free, fair, credible, justifiable election, such that nobody can challenge it. And if there is to be a challenge, should it be through violence, or how do we challenge? Because every person has a right to challenge election results. Do we threaten violence, or how do we challenge when there is grievances regarding an election?
Okay, thank you.
Ogaka, Raida? Okay.
Raida, yes, on that. One, he mentioned of having been pushed by even Babas to apply. Has he fully disclosed who others pushed him to apply? Number two, he has again mentioned that he lives in Joburg. Can the nominee assure Kenyans that if he assumes this position, he will not banco an election and take his comfort in Joburg, because Kenyans have no other place to go? Thank you.
Chairman, mine is just as a point of order. Chairman, you know, you gave the nominee 20 minutes to answer. Only on your questions, we are now, I think we've taken 9 minutes. 9 minutes.
Let's be faster. I'll make sure it's faster than that. First and foremost, quickly in one sentence each, defray the fears we have, then we move on to the questions substantive that were asked. They are not as elaborate as you are making it. Yeah, okay. You're just being a little bit prolonging. Okay. I don't want to use that other one we use in law. Let's just prolonging. Thank you. Can we be faster than that?
I think what I need to assure the committee and the nation at large is that once confirmed as chair, and I take that oath of office. The moment I take that oath of office, I will know I have crossed just from being a mere citizen, enjoying rights in this country, but I will immediately become a duty bearer as the chairperson of the IEBC. And as a duty bearer, it's my responsibility to ensure that this country has free, fair, transparent, credible, but more importantly, peaceful elections. And through that, I know, Chair, our election is highly regulated. From the constitutional provisions to the legislative provisions to regulations, there is an elaborate process through which we conduct our elections. And as the new chair and commission, we will ensure that internally we put our house in order. That if there are any challenges that the post-election evaluation report identifies, if there are any challenges that our partners and stakeholders, for example, through the Political Parties Liaison Committee, if there are those challenges that they identify, it's our responsibility as duty bearers to put in place measures to rectify those so that then we perfect our system. Chair, also, in terms of those incidences of malpractices that sometimes make the system appear not to be working, I think Kenyans, I would ask us to trust that in this new IEBC, when we identify cases of malpractices, we should be able to punish those. We should be able to take action in terms of working with the relevant government institutions to investigate and bring those perpetrators to book. So, Chair, I think that is the much.
Will you run away to South Africa if you baggo the election and you leave us fighting one another?
Chair, this is my country and I love it very much. That is why I came back, and that is why I want to continue serving it in this.
Why are you working in South Africa?
I'm working currently with African Union, which you know we are member state, and we're also doing things to actually, for example, the programs that we're doing is to support countries emerging from crises and conflicts and that are going through governance transitions like Gabon and Mozambique and stuff like that. So it's equally important work.
You're managing South Africa itself, which seems to have its own peculiar problems with races.
Yes, of course, there are challenges of governance there as well. But for me, when if called upon to serve my country, this is my priority, and it will be my pride.
Thank you very much. In the remaining 10 minutes, please take the other questions very fast. They were precise.
There's a very important question.